Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 4 a.m. update on September 2nd, 2019. Category 5 Hurricane Dorian stopped its westward march on a dime and on the Grand Bahama Island, bringing 180 to 165 mile per hour winds, storm surge, and heavy rain. And that is continuing now. It appears Hurricane Dorian is growing in size and getting closer to its final form. Hurricane season is officially super peaklet with a low in the Gulf of Mexico that has a 50% chance of developing over the next 5 days. Hurricane Dorian, a low in the upper Atlantic, has a 50% chance of developing over the next 5 days. And then the red one has 80% chance, and the yellow one has 20. And so the next 2 months shall be incredibly interesting. The next big questions will be, how bad is the damage in the Grand Bahama Island? And where will Category 5 Hurricane Dorian go next? This was from 7 minutes ago, showing Grand Bahama Island is under serious water from rain and surge. And at this point, how long will the hurricane be there? I think it's estimated anywhere from another hour to possibly 2 days. Elizabeth Laitman, WX Liz, also on the graveyard shift after some brief warming of cloud tops in what I was sure was going to be the long-awaited eyewall replacement. Dorian seems to be once again intensifying, with the cloud tops again cooling, and even some lightning in the inner core noted once again. There are 50,000 people in the Grand Bahamas, so please say a prayer for them. Our triple Martian boob pattern of total precipitable water is back. And let me just express that there is a ton of moisture. This one looks really wet. And so, if you'll notice, the three are 1, 2, 3. And this is one of the reasons I thought Dorian could possibly continue to move westward, because it looks like the three are in unison, and even the fourth one is over here. They're all moving together, kind of in the same way, like a family of planet moons or something. Well, let me express again that this is an incredible amount of moisture, not only in the Atlantic side of Florida, but in the Gulf of Mexico. And you can almost, this is where the volcano range is. We had major volcano eruptions from Popocatépetl and Fuego over the last week. So you can literally see the moisture and steam streaming out from volcano range. So this area definitely needs to be monitored. This area needs to be monitored. Once again, special thanks and shout out to Cranky Weather Guy, the king of weather Twitter. Well, I highly recommend you be following him on Twitter for live up-to-the-minute updates, and to everyone else on weather Twitter. He was the one who's been talking about it's definitely going to stall, and then from that stall point, it will launch forward northwest. So for now, it would appear South Florida is saved. Remember, the land interaction can do strange things, but just to speculate, we saw Abaco bump it, but it was driven back down. poised to possibly slip under Grand Bahama, and then stall point and hitch questions loom. Extremely slow motion. Better off checking it at 5 a.m. Technically in the east, it's 5 a.m. and it is stalled out. And so I'm really good at hurricanes, except for the slowdown, the stall, and the turn. I'm pretty sure if you go back to the records, I totally freak out every single time. There's a lot of pressure in this shit, man. All right, see just along and off the Florida coast, vertical markings. They're compressing together. Dorian, meanwhile, sure feels like it's slipping under the Grand Bahama to me. Dorian, but your stop sign is up and tightening as it advances. And it literally just stopped in its tracks. Therefore, I think we kind of keep going west, then slow stall, and then hitch north. Of course, this does not solve your potential coastline, let alone, God forbid, a landfall thereafter. Not ready to tackle that portion. But here is his guesstimate track, and it would put a central coastal Florida landfall possible in play. At this point, models are pretty much in agreement that it will hug the coast, go all the way up and down the coast, and then go out to sea. And one thing that I've been pointing out regularly is if you watch how much rain is involved with Hurricane Dorian all the way up the East Coast. Look at that. That is a dangerous and shit ton amount of rain. And then you get purple in there. And that makes it a Category 2 hurricane passing over New York and Massachusetts. And it's still super red, super purple, and that would take it all the way over. So the most heavy, out of 110 million populated area, people living in there, look at that. A lot of them are going to get a whole lot of rain. Watch this. Let's do this for a second. Yeah, so this will be the GFS accumulated rainfall with that being about 16 to 20 inches of rain, and depending on how far inland it tracks in, this could bring, a whole lot of rain depending on how close it tracks to the coast. It'll be the difference between like 5 to 7 inches or 10 to 20. But most models have it hugging the coast and then possibly making landfall in North Carolina and staying a somewhat strong hurricane all the way through. And it seems to explode in size. And, that's a Category 3 hurricane right there. The gem has it getting pretty dang close and then possibly making landfall in the center of Florida. It's taking it slower up the coast, but it too is drawing out a ton of rain somewhere near the top and then pulling it out. And then let us do the that would bring the heavy rain to North and South Carolina, and then the one point where it touched in on Florida. And so as for right now, you have hurricane warnings along the central part of Florida, and then watches in the center and the south. And so pray for this thing just getting kicked out to sea, but prepare for it to come down along the coast with possible Florida landfall and then possible North Carolina landfall over the next week. And then there's a good chance this will have some major effects up through the New England area. And with 2 days left in my Safe Door News fundraiser, we got $150 to go. So if you want to help Safe Door News, and where I can keep bringing you the news, you can contribute to the PayPal link, the Venmo link, the Cash App link in the information box, PayPal link to the video. And say some prayers, because I'm kind of losing my mind. Because I worked really hard in August, and holy crap, it looks like September and August or October are just going to be freaking wild. And just look at this thing grow, man. It's definitely growing in size. And so, peak hurricane season, it's here. We now have a Category 5 hurricane hanging out off the Florida coast 200 miles with 220 mile per hour wind gusts and about anywhere from 160 to 185 mile per hour sustained winds. And also say a prayer for the people in the Bahamas and Josh Morgan, who's the hurricane man. I don't believe he's been heard from for 16 hours, and he's somewhere in one of those Bahama Islands. Yeah, this thing, you get caught just staring at this thing. I think staring at this thing sometimes it drives you crazy. Yeah, but there's a lot of pressure being Planetary Defense Commander, man, especially right now. Okay, I will talk to you guys in the very near future. Stay cool. God bless everyone.